All right. Good evening, everybody. It is the Water Pollution Control Authority's regularly scheduled June meeting. The time is 7 p.m. There was a posted agenda. Any proposed changes to the agenda? Seeing none, we will get going. Item number one was that call to order. Item number 2 is the approval of the May 21st meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve as written.
Second.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor? All right. Approved. There is nothing under old business, so we will move right on to new business. Item number 1, to hear, consider, and act on a sewer connection request for a proposed multifamily residential building having a total of 48 units with 68 total bedrooms at 105 Bureau Street, 300 Castle Avenue. Anyone here to?
I believe the applicant is here.
Okay.
Hi, for the record, I'm attorney Stephen Bellis, and to my right is Eric De Laurentiis, who's a member of 105 Bureau Street LLC. And second to my right is Jason Edwards, who did a lot of the work and is more knowledgeable than I about the WPCA engineering. Notwithstanding, we also have Larry Edwards if needed. He's an engineer with Jason's firm. The long and the short of it is that we have an application pending with the zoning commission coming up in July. And that application is, as the chair just said, for 48 units, an apartment building at 105. So at that hearing, after we had a code review, they normally send it to you guys to make sure that there's adequate capacity for the sewers. This property had a rectory on it, which will be taken down, and then the apartment building will replace the building that's currently there. But there'll be the same utilization of the pipes that were used for the rectory that will be used for this building. And so what we normally do is come to you and say, do we have adequate capacity for 48 units? And then I go to zoning and I tell them, yes, there's adequate capacity for 48 units. And so you're probably familiar with that. So that's where we are tonight. I would turn it over to Jason.
Jason Edwards, J. Edwards Associates, we're engineer surveyors. I don't know if you all have this. This is the reports that. Yeah. So we did 2 different reports. And really to start, 108 Bureau had come before you, I guess, a couple weeks back, or a month or so back. We are right across the street, so we were sharing data with them. We know that they had a study that they submitted that indicated they were over, I guess, 80%. I don't know what the number was precisely that they were calculated at. So we talked to them, and as it turned out, they hadn't done any field measurements of the actual piping in the streets. They had taken it from record data and just used that information. So we went out and we surveyed that whole line and came up with our own calculations. So the first report was from June 3rd that we came up with capacity of, should know this by now. We were saying, we computed it to be roughly 70% with our flow added to it. So that is about 10% less than what I guess the first guys had, and that was due to the pipe slope. We computed it at, and it's not a steep slope there, it's flat. So a little tiny bit of difference makes a big difference on that run. So we submitted that. I believe the Wright Pierce, I guess, I think it's Wright Pierce, reviewed it. They asked us to take another look and just make sure we had a more detailed analysis. So we then did a hydraulic analysis, which that's this one from June 13th. So we went and actually surveyed the entire sewer run from top, where we're tying in, all the way down to the Alto Apartments, I think. And that manhole was sealed. We couldn't get into that. So we kind of stopped there because the pipes started to get a little steeper as we got down there anyway. So we felt, okay, well, this problem area would have been the section that you guys had the monitoring installed on, which was monitoring point 2, which is, I think it's behind the Starbucks, right? 1201 Kings Highway, which is in here. So we took and we modeled the whole pipe network, and then plugged in that maximum flow, the peak flow into it, and then, come up with the results. And it's actually shows that we're only at about 50% capacity in that pipe with the new flow. And the maximum capacity is higher than what was initially calculated using just Manning's formula. So in our opinion, there's sufficient capacity in that pipe for this development. And I don't know where you guys stand as far as reviewing it, but we haven't got comments back on that report yet. But we just gave it to you on Monday or Tuesday.
Right, Pierce hasn't looked at.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, may I
That was
have,
my
just add that, right, Pierce does have the hydraulic analysis.
Okay.
And also does have the revised report. So I think the original that we
Yes,
received
we
was
had.
dated May 29th. Right, Pierce had performed a technical review of that, provided their recommendation. After that, the June 3rd report with a slight revision
we had a
was
typo in there, is what it was, yeah.
Yeah, I don't, and so there was a question, there was a discrepancy in one of the surveyed,
I had put a 3 instead of a 2 on one of the numbers.
Inverts?
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
was, when you did the math, it didn't work out to what I had in the pipe slope, but it was a typo in the label, is all it was. Yeah,
Okay, so that was one of the flags that came up for Wright Pierce, but they're reviewing that in conjunction with the hydraulic analysis that was provided this past Monday, and we'll provide the commission an updated memorandum based on that review.
And we actually did survey that section twice now, because we did it once to do the first study, and then I had them go back and do it again when we were asked to do the hydraulic analysis, just to make sure. So we're very confident in our numbers on that, so.
I mean, thank you. We appreciate the explanation and the additional detail. We rely on Wright Pierce's review and basically a pass-fail type of thing before, so
We'll wait
I
to hear
think
from them.
tonight we have to wait, yeah, exactly.
exactly.
We can't.
That's fine.
Or at least I wouldn't vote in favor without seeing their
Yep, that's-
blessing on their review, so.
Thanks for the explanation about that one figure.
Yeah.
The invert number, that purely was a typo.
It was, yeah, it was
That one of
just-
our internal questions.
Yeah, it was a goof on my part when I typed it. We had actually caught it in our review, and then the wrong one got submitted, and so it was just never should have gone out. That's what usually
So
happens.
just to make sure I understand, because there was a lot in the reports and
Yes.
everything. So the records indicated that it was a 0.05% slope, and then your survey indicated a 0.07?
Actually, I think the records actually showed it as .0065. So we are .007, so we're closer to it than what I believe, or maybe it was 55. I don't recall, but it was more than .05.
0.05 is what came up with the 90%?
Yes.
And then so the
So the
0.07
slight difference over that distance
difference
makes a
between,
difference.
okay.
Everything else was,
Good news. I mean, I feel bad rejecting anything, but obviously if we're over 80%, I'm going to reject. So,
Okay.
so, I mean, yeah, I don't know if we want to discuss or if we just want to postpone. It's up
We
to
need to
you.
wait for that opinion,
No
right?
way I'm approving.
And then, will we do that in a special meeting?
It depends on when things are available, and I mean, I don't know how much time is of the essence. I mean, you guys, process-wise, you don't have to get our blessing before moving forward to zoning, right?
No, technically you're correct. I don't need your blessing. We need to show zoning that there's adequate capacity, and so
Right.
we would introduce Jason's reports, and which
It's totally
suggests,
reasonable, yeah.
well, maybe not suggests, says that there's adequate capacity.
Right.
But eventually, we do have to come before you.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
So, I mean, my thought is I would postpone until our regularly scheduled July.
Probably next month.
It's the third Wednesday of July.
Or July 15th, I think. was
If
our-
for some reason you needed it sooner than that, we
I wouldn't
we
make you
could
guys come back
theoretically.
in the summertime.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
A lot of meetings
Fine.
lately.
If you put it on the agenda for us next time, that would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're July 16th.
Right.
Is the
Oh, we got-
next
Okay.
meeting.
And I'll just tell the zoning people that we came before you and
Yeah,
it just got
exactly.
continued, waiting for a decision.
Pending report review. So.
I understand. All right, we're all good. I mean, I am
Yeah.
fine.
That's fine, as long as you guys have.
So I think we need a motion to,
Yeah.
yeah. So motion to postpone approval.
So I'd like to make a motion to postpone the approval of proposed construction 105 Bureau Street connected to Fairfield sewer system. This approval is going to be held really in abeyance until the next meeting. on July 16th, unless we need to schedule something sooner. And that's probably the end of this motion that we made, right?
Seconded.
Comments, discussion, all in favor? Unanimous. All right.
All right, we'll see you in a month.
See you in a month. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, have a good night.
All right, moving on. Operational status updates, compliance, bypasses, none?
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's a
exactly.
good one.
Do we need to even say anything about that or just
we
keep
don't.
going?
Keep
All right. Sludge biodrying pilot project update.
That started June 9th, last Monday, so we're about a week and a half in. BDP is the one that's spearheading it. They're providing technical assistance, engineering assistance. We started loading bays. We're loading 2 bays, one with a mix of 7,500 and 3 scoops, and the other one with 7,500 and 2 scoops. We're starting off at about 38% solids. It's about not quite halfway, and we're at 43. So it's starting to do what it's supposed to do. We've decreased the amount of trucks going out per week to landfill, so we're saving a little money already. And I will report hopefully with even better news next month.
Sounds good.
All's going well.
Comments, questions?
All good news.
Yep. All right. CIP project updates, East Trunk replacement project.
Site mobilization started last week with road closings, site prep work, contractor and the engineering inspector from Luke's on site daily at this point, as well as WPCF, road crew, and sewer department staff. Wetlands bypass is not planned, that's the big one, is not planned to be initiated till after the July 4th holiday. So mid-July we're looking at this point. So all systems go right now. Everything's steady.
Good.
Fairfield Beach, want me to
Yeah,
just keep running
just keep
through?
going.
Okay, Fairfield Beach Pump Station force main, restart of the geotech work is slated for the actual drilling to start next week. We've had the 2-month delay in the project now, so we were at we're at really a 14-month project schedule. We're bringing that out another 2 months because of the force main breach that occurred in April. But happy that we're getting that back up and running. Phase 1 plant equipment improvements. We're excited to report that we're going to be recommending an award soon.
Not yet, though.
Said not yet. We haven't recommended, it's not public yet.
Okay.
We'll report out when it is, but we're getting very, very close.
Excellent.
So this has been in the making for some time, considering we've had authorization for the funding.
Any questions on any of those projects? All right. Item number 7, other 2025 fog permit application status update.
So we give a status update as to where we are with our fats, oils, and grease program overall. So it's a program that has needed our attention for some time now. The sewer department is in the process of redeveloping the program. This is a great time for us to do so with our next year's renewals. Renewals are due in by July 1st. We sent our notifications out June 1st. We sent out to our Class 3 and Class 4 food service establishments. So we're really sticking to the state DEP general permit for fats, oils, and grease. We were overreaching prior to that. So we were trying to be covering our entire food service industry here in Fairfield. We just don't have the resources to do that. And to be compliant with the state's requirements, we don't need to reach that far, that broadly. So we're sticking with the Class 3 and Class 4. That brought us to about 205 known establishments.
From what?
We had over 1,000. We had like 1,500 or something like that. So this is much more manageable.
Yeah,
And even with that much more manageable number, we only have a 10% response rate to the notifications. That's to date.
Right.
So We are changing our procedure a little bit for this year. So what we're going to be doing, we're getting rid of the paper application process. So we're going to be using City Squared only, so online submittals only. We are going to be collecting fees up front from everybody. So prior to this year, if we didn't have a complete application, we were accepting it. And then we were waiting to receive a complete application before we notified the applicant that a fee was due. We're spinning our wheels so much. We're putting a lot of effort into processing these applications, whether they're complete or not, and we need to be compensated for that time. So we're charging the fee up front. And those who are non-compliant, so they've only submitted partial application or they have not been responsive, we have no application submittal, they're going to be prioritized for inspection. So we actually, in this past spring, we did reinitiate our inspection piece of the program as well. So there's going to be a lot of outreach and education that's required for our restaurants here in Fairfield, just because our FOG program it really hasn't been staffed in the past several years. So I wanted to give an update because it is a significant amount of revenue potentially,
Right.
even though our permit fees are rather low. Yeah. That's where we're at.
Questions? We are at item number 8, adjournment.
Let's make a motion that we adjourn.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Good job, everybody.
Let the record show it's 7:16 PM. We now have a new